Hey, what's going on, Eric? So getting into week 4, the last week of the block, went pretty good. Started out with 315 for high bar squats. Really wanted to get this weight by the end of the block because I knew that I did this before for 3 sets of 10, but it felt probably like an 8.5, 9, maybe even 10 towards the last sets when I would do this previously. So I knew that this was kind of my goal in the back of my head to hit this weight at the end of the block, and I think they went pretty good. They didn't feel as hard as they did when I first attempted this weight doing high bar a couple months ago. And they felt really good. I didn't want to push it too hard though because I knew that toward my last squat day I wanted to maybe hit something near 4. If I could hit 4, that'd be great. But so I didn't want to push it too hard, but I did want to be able to hit this weight because it was a goal of mine to hit this before the end of the block. But they felt pretty good. They moved well. My body felt good. I was well rested, and these overall felt pretty good. I believe this is the first set still. And then getting into the last set, still moved pretty good. Felt pretty good. My knee, thankfully, hasn't given me any problems since starting, which I'm really happy about because I feel like if I don't have that mentally in my head, my knee kind of being an issue, then I feel like my squat's just gonna explode even more once we start hitting it harder. Just because I don't have that stuck in my head that my knee might hurt when I'm squatting. So being that it's not hurting at all, it feels good. You know, it feels great to be able to just go in and squat and not have to worry about it, and just do what I have to do. So I'm really happy with the progress I've made on my squat in the last couple weeks, finishing that block, and then finishing the block with a pretty good squat, and I'm really happy about the progress. And then moving on to bench, I'm trying to remember. I think they move very well. Felt good. Those squats though, they did take a lot of my energy. I can't remember if this day I hadn't eaten good enough. It might have been that day, but these felt pretty good. I was just really tired and beat up after those squats. They took out a lot of me, or it took a lot from me, but these still move pretty solid, still smooth. And I'm just happy with my progress as well on my bench. Not just letting my elbows dip inwards like they used to, which I'm really happy about. And then moving into day 2, these I went with 237 for my first 2 sets. Honestly, the first set felt pretty hard. It felt like closer to an 8 or an 8.5. And then on my second set, it felt even heavier. So I dropped it down to 231, which was the weight that I used for the previous week. And they felt a lot better than my third and my fourth set. So this was my last set. But yeah, on my third or fourth set, I dropped it down to this, and they felt better. And then here on my fifth set, they didn't feel too bad either. Closer to the 7.5. And then for stiff leg deadlifts, use 275. And I feel my form was a lot better than the previous weeks, because my lower back still was a little bit more rounded than we'd like. Felt pretty good. Just trying to kind of sit back a little bit more, engage my hamstrings a lot more than I was before. So I was really trying to focus on sitting back, really flattening my back, so I could get in the position that we wanted me to get into. And I feel like I did a little bit better this week than previous weeks for sure. That one a little bit rounded. And then getting into the last set, that rep was probably my best rep out of all my sets, I think. But yeah, I was just trying to really focus on sitting back a little bit more, engaging my hamstrings a lot more than I was in previous weeks. And I think this day they moved a lot better. Yeah, so definitely this set overall moved a lot better for this week. Once I looked at my first set, I knew I had to kind of sit back a little bit more, and then it cut off right before my last rep. And then moving on to day 3, not really much to say. It moved fairly easy. Felt pretty good this day. Usually my third day of the week was the day I wouldn't feel the greatest. But this day, to be honest, felt pretty good. Weight wasn't too heavy, but it still moved pretty good for what it is. And just, I think overall, the biggest win, I think, for me was my confidence on bench. Because before, if I was benching 225, I would pause it for a couple reps, maybe 3 to 5 reps, and then after that I would kind of lose the confidence to pause it, and I would switch over to doing touch and go reps for the rest of my set. But just overall, anything over 225, 2, it all feels, I just have that confidence, and it feels really good. And then from my squat here, 402, it felt really good, man. I think it moved a lot better and a lot faster than my 305 the previous week, and it felt a lot lighter. This day I got a good amount of sleep, a lot of food in me, a good amount of protein too, and I just felt really good. I just recorded my first set on pause squats. There was a lot of people in the gym this day, and there wasn't really anywhere to film. So I just got my last set, but these two as well, I'm really happy with the progress I made on them, because the first and the second week, my pause squats weren't really pause squats. They were maybe like a second of a pause, but they definitely felt a lot better. Then here, the first rep, what I've been doing the past weeks, I've been doing my first rep on all my deadlift work with a hook grip. And then I was doing, then I would have my straps around my wrist, and then for the remaining reps, I would do it with straps. Because I noticed when I would do hook grip, or mixed grip, I would kind of like pick up the bar with my arms because the weight was light, and I wasn't really like focusing on putting my body in the right position, and just pulling the slack out of the bar. Bending the bar, setting all my cues that I normally do. So when I would do a hook grip, I noticed I wouldn't do that as much. I wouldn't like pick up the bar. And I noticed this week when I did my deadlifts, my stiff legs, I was doing the same. So I did a hook grip as well, and it worked better. Here though, I'm not really happy with my deadlifts. I was trying to be a little bit more upright when I was deadlifting, but I just don't think my body's suited to be in that type of position, where I'm more upright. And I don't know, I was trying some weird positioning, and it just wasn't working out. My back was really rounded when I was trying to do that, and I kept trying to do it, but it wasn't working out for me. I feel like my torso is just too long to be in a position where I'm almost standing up, if that makes sense. I just think my torso is just too long to be in that position. So these I wasn't really happy with how they moved, or how my position was. They moved how they were supposed to, but my positioning was, I think it was pretty ugly. My back was rounded a lot more than usual, or it really is. Because I never really deadlift with my back that rounded like that. But this day it was just off the positioning I was trying to achieve. And then moving on to the last day of the week, this was a real big confidence boost. The previous week hit 275, which was a PR for me, and then this was really big because this was actually my third attempt at my first meet, and I was able to hit it pretty comfortably. And at the end of it, I did feel like I had reps left in the tank. So those felt really good, and that was a real big confidence boost, PR. So I was really happy about that. And then onto my volume work, moved pretty good too. I was riding off of that kind of high from the PR. So these just felt pretty smooth, pretty easy. And yeah, it was a